Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's awesome that you're tuning in. So in this video, I want to take a close look at the Ultra Racer. I picked up this thing a very long time ago for the PlayStation. And the fun fact is, like, back in the day, when I had an N64, I had exactly the same controller, only for the N64. So I picked it up and I needed to check it out and show it here on the channel, because the idea behind it is pretty damn cool. So I also played a lot with RC cars. Let me know in the comments, did you also do that? And this is more like an RC controller for your PlayStation or N64. Of course, this is not like multi-platform, so you need to have like the separate one for the N64. And it comes with some awesome features. For example, you can swap out buttons. So what do I mean with this? With the program button, you can reconfigure the full controller and make this thing like completely personal. So I came across this thing in box, so that's also quite rare, and they are not very expensive to buy. So I'm more like, yeah, let's pick it up. So first of all, this thing has been used. So that's clearly to see, like you can see the manual is all folded up. Oh, let's get this freaking thing out. And I don't know what's going on my controller, but it's kind of filthy. Well, okay, so let's do a quick unboxing. And let's take a close look at the manual. He explains how the settings work, because if you need to reconfigure some buttons to another position, you can do it. And it explains very well how. And let's keep the cardboard in good condition. Okay, so let's take a close look at the controller itself. So the design is similar to an RC car or a car RC controller. Of course, nowadays they look differently, but I find it an interesting design. One interesting thing, see that the mold is exactly the same like the N64 one, and I will show you later on this video what I mean with that. And the button and the tiny wheel, they are like rubberized. And personally, I really hate it. They're not that sticky, so that's a good thing, but they are like quite filthy. I'll give you a quick view. I don't know what's going on here, or it's dust or mold. I have no idea. So this thing is quite filthy. So the first thing that we're going to do is clean it up. I got this wet cloth that we're going to clean this up. It works very well. I'm always using this special cloth. And you can buy a couple of versions, one with pure alcohol, some with some other substance in it. But you can see it comes a kind of dust of weird filthy thing of it. So let's do a quick little bit of cleaning. And I'm mostly doing this with all of my controllers all the freaking time, because I want to keep my controllers clean. And the same goes here with this one, because it's also rubberized. It gives a better grip, they say in the manual, but it will somehow keep the filth sticky on the rubber. So it's not a good thing. Let's clean up with a dry cloth. And it looks way better now. Okay, so let's take a close look at the controller itself. So the controller, I find it an interesting design with this tiny wheel up the front of the controller. So here you can see this is normally like the N64 controller port. They closed it with a piece of plastic. Okay, here we're going to get the special switch that we can move up and down, basically for acceleration and brake when you're using an RC game or an RC racing game. I think it's quite interesting. That's also how it mostly works with an original controller back in the day when I was playing around with these toys. This is a 45-degree racing wheel, so 45 is not a lot, but it is enough to play. Then we're going there, the directional buttons. Directional buttons are super convenient if you navigate through a menu, for example with an X station. But then we're going to get these rubber tiny buttons. They are not very convenient, but this is interesting. Here we're going to get full long travel buttons. I've seen it on different controllers, so I will show you later on. And the way this thing looks and plays and feels is quite interesting. Yeah, I think it's a pretty cool piece of hardware. And here at the right we can even switch the 1 and 2 position, or can basically reverse it. So when it comes to this device, it comes with a lot of options. So let's play a game. Okay, so the first game that we're going to play is going to be just a racing game, just to see how the experience is. But with the Ridge Racer resolution, you're going to get this awesome intro game. And I must say, there's a lot of fun playing it with this racing wheel. It's a completely different, weird experience. Okay, Okay, so because of the 45-degree wheel, it's very sensitive, and when you want to play some Ridge Racer, it's basically unplayable if you ask me. So it's a lot of fun. We're also going to try some different games, just see how we experience this when the sensitivity of the wheel, but it's weird and you really need to get used to this new way of playing. Okay, so the first biggest disappointment that we're going to get with this controller is that it doesn't work with every single game. And it didn't even work with Micro Machines. Freaking Micro Machines, the game that is so awesome. That is like an RC game, so for my opinion that would be like the most epic game to play. So yeah, sadly it didn't work at all. So I was more like, damn it, maybe there was something else wrong. So I tried the normal controller, it seems to be working just fine. And when I'm plugging in this new version, it doesn't recognize by the game. So I'm thinking there is something wrong with the controller itself when it comes to the input way. And same like with these special Ridge Racer controllers, they work with the same technology and it is not supported by Micro Machines version 3. A little bit of a bummer because that would be like the most epic game to play. Okay, so let's try this controller with a different game. This time we're going to try out Ridge Racer Type 4. It's another Ridge Racer game and the reason is very simple. It's because the original controllers with the one you have this racing wheel too with it works with the same technology, so it has been best support with these games. And playing around with Ridge Racer Type 4, I'm noticing that this game supports the 45-degree wheel way better than with the first edition, and I can finally play and I can even do some sliding or drifting. It's pretty awesome and I really enjoyed it. But again, it's such a bummer that you still have limited games that works with the Ultra Racer. That's basically the original name from this device. Here you can see like my drift went perfectly. It's freaking unbelievable. And maybe if I can switch to the button at the top, so reconfiguring everything and make this thing even like a freaking cool controller to play some Ridge Racer with. Is it perfect? No, absolutely not, but it's just a fun, different way to play. Okie dokie, so let's take a close look at the inside. So when it comes to controllers and technology, this is going to be very interesting with this one. So there are like these very tiny screws, very in-depth in here. So let's loosen up these two. And we just need to remove all the parkers. I'm going to switch now. And let's see what we're going to get in the inside. So here we can see like this isn't just a piece of plastic because the mold itself is also made for N64. Okay, so getting this thing, okay, let's get this thing through the hole. We just need to push the button through the hole. So that's the thing that we need to do. And when you're looking at the inside, here there are like a lot of different parts, a lot of different PCBs. Here we're going to get the tiny speaker, because when you're pressing this set and you want to reconfigure your buttons, you're going to get this bleeping sound. So when it comes to technology, it's quite a piece of engineering. If you ask me, here we're going to get the special switch. You can see that it goes up and down. Something I personally never seen in an other controller. So let's remove the parkers, so let's remove the PCBs, and let's see what is underneath here. So let's remove the less parker, and I'm just going to be honest, I'm going to remove a couple of PCBs over here and some parts. I think I cannot remove everything. And I'm just going to be honest, I'm doing this teardown especially for the channel. I just wanted to see what's inside. And I know a lot of you like these teardowns. So again, I'm doing this especially for you. And sometimes I just need to stop teardowning, otherwise I'm going to completely destroy the product itself. Okay, let's get this part on the other side. Let's get it loose from the tape. And here we're going to get the control itself. And what is quite interesting are like the bottom part has like just basic membranes, like I've seen like different old controllers, old technology is still using. But here you can see like we're going to get some different technology with some springs inside. So basically giving the tension. That's also like why we're going to get this long travel button. It's a quite interesting piece of technology. It has some special switches in the bottom part. Then we're going to get the switch over here. Just want to give you another quick view on the other side. So it's a quite interesting piece of technology. Here we're going to get the 45-degree racing wheel. I checked it out just to see if I can remove it, but I think I cannot remove it. I'm just going to leave it in place. So here is basically where the teardown stops, because I'm afraid if I'm going to like remove this, I'm going to completely destroy this thing, and it would be like a bummer. Okay, so the other thing, they even did some greasing of the switches itself and the springs. So it's quite interesting just to see how they made this. But yeah guys, so this is what we're going to get with this special Ultra controller. I think it's a little bit of a bummer I couldn't use it with all freaking games like Micro Machines. And there will be like a lot of different games that doesn't work with this thing. Maybe that's the reason why it failed. No, to be honest. Yeah, in the future we will look at the Namco controllers. So consider subscribing, hit the little bell, become on the Wicked family. And maybe later on, the video already being up, we're going to review them all because I think that like quite an interesting piece of technology when it comes to controllers. They made a lot of great peripherals back in the day. I want to thank you for watching again, and it will be great to see you in the next video.